race fans. In today's episode, my first episode, I'm going to cover Thursday night's Bluegreen Duel at Daytona, where there were two 60-lap, 150-mile races that set the starting lineup for Sunday's Daytona 500. The front row for the prestigious event was set on Wednesday night in qualifying, in which Alex Bowman and William Byron, the two Hendrick Motorsports teammates, captured those honors. And in the dual races on Thursday night, the rest of the grid, third place all the way down to 40th, was set. And Eric Almirola and Austin Dillon were the winners of the two respective dual races, both of which came down to exhilarating last lap finishes. For the first duel, it got off to a pretty intense start, a lot of three-wide racing. Daniel Suarez for the newly formed Team Trackhouse took the lead early, led laps 3 and 4. And then pretty soon after that, they got pretty calm, got up single file once Eric Almirola took the lead and rode around in single file really the rest of the race. It was a caution-free event in that first duel. And heading down the backstretch on that last lap of the duel is kind of where they did start to get a little crazy, get side by side, which you would expect. There are points on the line in the duels now, so there is a little more incentive to race than just your starting position in the Daytona 500. The winner of the race gets a playoff point, which carries over all the way to that championship round of the playoffs if you get there. So it's very valuable to race for that. And it was Eric Almirola able to hold off late charges from Joey Logano and Christopher Bell to get his first dual win and lock up third on the starting grid for the Daytona 500. After a lengthy rain delay of roughly 2.5 hours, they finally got the second duel underway. William Byron led the field to the green, and they just went crazy right from the start. Lots of side-by-side action, lots of lead changes. William Byron and Kevin Harvick both had significant amounts of time out front. Bubba Wallace also led here and there. And it ended with a last lap battle between Bubba Wallace and Austin Dillon coming to the checkered flag. Wallace was passed by Dillon on the bottom, and Dillon was able to hold off Wallace as they got to the checkered flag to win the duel himself. I'm an Austin Dillon fan, so I was pretty excited when that happened. Had to temper down my excitement because my whole family was asleep because it was late at night because of the rain delay. So I kind of had to temper that down a bit, but it was still pretty exciting. And on the case of Austin Dillon, William Byron wrecked in that second duel and will have to go to a backup car, meaning instead of starting on the front row of the Daytona 500, he will start at the rear. So Austin Dillon will now start alongside Alex Bowman on the front row of the Daytona 500 by virtue of his win in the second duel, which set the outside line for the starting lineup of the Daytona 500. Austin Dillon won that race in 2018, turning none other than Eric Almirola for the win. Of course, he was the other duel winner. So kind of a coincidence that happened, and another unique story on Austin Dillon. Obviously, 20 years ago, in just a few days, we lost Dale Earnhardt in that tragic last lap incident in the 2001 Daytona 500. So it would be very fitting for Austin Dillon to win the Daytona 500 nearly 20 years since we lost Dale Earnhardt. I'm definitely hoping that happens. I think there's a lot of NASCAR fans that I'd like to see that happen. It's going to be a really exciting race. Now, the race for the win was not the only race going on in each of these duels. Some guys are racing just simply for their chance to race in the 500. 44 cars entered the race, so obviously in a 40-car field, 4 guys are not going to be allowed to race. 36 guys were already locked in coming into Speed Weeks as a whole because of the NASCAR charter system. So there were 4 entries up for grabs with 8 open entries is what they call them, basically just teams that don't have a charter and are not already locked in. 2 of those 8 open entries locked their way into the Daytona 500 by virtue of their qualifying times on Wednesday night, which were Ryan Preece and David Reagan. So that left 6 more cars looking to clinch a spot with only 2 spots available. In the duels, Preece and Reagan were the best finishers in the respective duels out of the open cars. So it actually did go back to qualifying times. Austin Cindric qualified by virtue of his qualifying time in Duel 1, and Kaz Gralla did the same in Duel 2. There's some controversy with the Duel 1 because Ty Dillon was the top finisher other than Preece out of the open cars, but still did not get to race, while Austin Cindric, who finished a lap down in the first duel, did get to race. So there was a lot of controversy around that and a lot of confusion among the fans. It wasn't really a rule necessarily that was made clear to the fans. There are a lot of us that were left confused, but ultimately it's clear now. Austin Cindric got in on his qualifying time because Ryan Preece was the best finisher of the group. So, well, that's all I've got for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoy tomorrow's Daytona 500. It's going to be one for the ages. It's a big day for NASCAR, and I think we're going to see one hell of a show. Thank you guys for watching. Please click below and subscribe. I'm trying to build up my brand and get this thing kicked off, so I'd really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe and kind of help get the ball rolling on this. Thank y'all, and have a happy Daytona day.